The dam keeper woke before dawn. He walked the base of the great wall like every morning. This morning was different. Water was leaking through the canyon rock. It ran brown, muddy. He had seen leaks before, never this color. He picked up the telephone. He called the man who had built it, and the man told him not to worry. Go back a few years, a city was dying of thirst. Los Angeles was growing faster than its water could follow. One man decided to fix that. His name was William Mulholland. He had come from Ireland with nothing. No degree, no formal training, no family money. He started by digging ditches for the water company. He read engineering books at night, alone. And he taught himself everything. He rose, slowly, then all at once. He became the chief engineer of the whole city. Then he built the impossible, a river of concrete dragging water across the desert, an aqueduct that made Los Angeles bloom. When the water first arrived, crowds cheered his name. He stood before them and said 5 words. There it is, take it. He was a legend now, the man who tamed the water. But a city keeps growing, and it needed somewhere to store all that water. So Mulholland chose a quiet canyon in the hills. He would seal it with a wall of concrete. He would trust no one else with the design. He drew the plans himself. He supervised the work himself. He was certain, and no one in the city was going to argue with him. The wall rose through the canyon week by week. As it grew, the plans kept changing. They wanted to store more water, so Mulholland made the dam taller, then taller again, but the base stayed the same width. Then the reservoir began to fill, and the wall began to speak. Cracks appeared in the concrete face, thin ones at first, then wider. Workers pointed them out. Mulholland waved them away. Cracks were normal, he said. Every dam cracks. Then came the water, not over the top, through it. Small trickles seeping from the canyon walls. He ordered them patched and moved on. The reservoir kept rising day after day, and the leaks kept multiplying. By that final week, the water sat near the top, higher than it had ever been. New leaks opened along the eastern wall. The damkeeper watched them with a growing unease. His name was Tony Harnischfeger. He lived at the foot of the dam. His family slept there, below all that water. On the last morning, he found the worst leak yet. The water coming through was thick and brown. Brown water means one thing to a dam man. It means the earth itself is washing away. He called Mulholland at once, and Mulholland drove out to see for himself. The old engineer climbed the canyon. He studied the muddy flow for hours. He decided the mud came from a road cut nearby, not from the foundation. He declared the dam safe. He got in his car and drove back to the city. He left the dam keeper standing there, standing beside a wall that was quietly dissolving, and nobody warned the valley below. The families in the little towns downstream slept easy. They did not know the water was coming. They did not know a wall was all that held it. They did not know that wall was already losing. They buried this file for years. Subscribe, because there are more. The people downstream trusted the men who built it. That trust was about to cost them everything. It happened just before midnight. There was no warning sound, no siren, no bell. Somewhere in the dark, the wall let go. A power station downstream flickered, then died. That was the only clue anyone got. The reservoir emptied itself into the canyon, a wall of water taller than a house. It moved through the night faster than a car. It took the damkeeper and his family first. Their home was simply gone. Then it found the workers' cottages downstream, men, women, children asleep in their beds. The water did not slow. It carried boulders, it carried houses, it tore steel towers out of the ground. Whole communities vanished in the dark. People woke to a roaring they could not place. Some ran, most never had the chance. The flood swept toward the sea, mile after mile. It crushed everything in the valley. Bridges, ranches, roads, orchards. By the time the sun rose, the water was gone, and so was everything it had touched. Over 400 people were dead. Many were never found at all. The valley was a field of mud and silence. The reason it fell had been under their feet the whole time. The wall did not fail because of the concrete, it failed because of what it stood on. The canyon looked solid. It was a lie. One wall of the canyon was ancient rock, rock that had slid down the hillside long ago, a buried landslide older than memory. Nobody knew because nobody looked. There was no geological survey, no test of the ground beneath the dam. Mulholland trusted his own eyes, and nothing more. The other canyon wall was worse. It was a kind of rock that looks strong when dry, but soak it in water, and it changes, it softens, it swells, it crumbles like wet clay. That is exactly what the reservoir did. For days, the water pressed into that rock. It seeped into every hidden crack. It lifted the great wall from below. It ate away the ground the dam was anchored to. The brown leaks were the warning. That mud was the foundation itself, dissolving. The dam keeper had read it correctly. The engineer had read it wrong. By the last night, the dam was floating on ruined rock. It only needed one more push, and the water gave it. The inquest came fast. They gathered engineers and geologists to find the fault. They studied the shattered rock in the canyon, and the answer was almost unbearable. The dam had been built on ground no one tested. The flaw was written in the stone. Anyone could have found it. No one was asked to. But here is the thing that haunts the case. The rock was never the real failure. The real failure was a man who could not be questioned. A man so trusted that no one checked his work. The cracks were dismissed. The leaks were explained away. The brown water was called a road stain. Every warning arrived, every warning was refused. Mulholland stood before the inquest, broken. He did not hide behind excuses. He took the blame onto himself. He told them he envied the dead. His career ended in that room. The legend who tamed the water was finished. The valley slowly rebuilt, but the men who wrote the safety rules never forgot. Every dam in the country would now be tested first, because of the town that drowned in the dark. 40 years later, another dam in the same state began to leak, and this time they filmed it collapsing.